Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today I want to show you another large format camera, and this time it's a Wista 45D. And it's basically sort of like a press camera. And I call press cameras these that close into themselves pretty much like a Graflex. I know it's not explicitly a press camera, but that's what it looks like. It's a metallic field camera. So this Wista is fairly bulky and heavy. Actually, it's heavier than that Toyo VX125 with a lens. So it doesn't look like it's going to break easily in any way. You probably would break the floor if you drop it. It has a little handle on the side here, as you can see, leather handle, which just lets you carry it because it's that heavy. It doesn't really work to hand holding. Then on the side here, it has a little accessory option that I've never seen before or what it works for. It has a cold shoe on the top, maybe to put an external viewfinder, and a little bubble level here, which is a circle. So basically it works for both angles, both forward and sideways. I like independent bubbles, but that should do okay. So to open the camera, it's very simple. You have to unscrew these kind of a little not so refined knobs. So 1 and 2, and then the camera just opens, and it has a little zeroing at 90 degrees, as you can see here. You probably hear it click there. So it has a bit of wiggle, and it also can go backwards, which is probably one of the movements that it has. So, it does have little zeroing here. So when we want to lock it at 90, it's there, and now it won't move at all. Now the front standard, as you can see, is in there, and you can probably close this camera with a small lens. And when I mean small lens, I mean something like this rod and stock Cedar Knot S, and you could probably almost close it like that. I wouldn't do that, but if you feel like that, you can do it. So very simple. To extend the lens out of the inside of the camera, you have to push these two little knobs inside, and then it has a little ruler, which let me see if you guys can see it. And that ruler is to basically have some markings for what lenses you're using. And these two little infinity locks, which you could calibrate for your lens. So these could be for a 135mm lens or a 210mm lens, whatever you want. But they're user changeable. So you can change them to your settings. I'm going to leave it at the very end because this camera doesn't have the longest focusing mechanism, as you'll see. So this, now that you've seen it, we're going to lock it all the way at the front, which is there. And once you release, it's locked. It won't move. So all it's moving right now is the focusing. As you can see, it won't move at all. Let me level the camera just a little bit. There we go. So focusing, very simple. You have a little lock on the side to the right. So lock backwards. And now you can focus with both hands, left or right hand. And then when you're where you want, you lock it again. It won't move at all. You can take a picture. This is a little wobbly, probably because I need to tighten a couple things. And basically now, if you want to go forward a little more, it has these two little locks on the side here, which you probably can see on the B camera. And these, if I unlock them, then you can go further. So that's how far you can go. And that's the maximum extension of this camera. It's not the biggest out there. It doesn't have an back like the back that extends backwards like the Toyo 45A, but it's a decent amount. And one thing that the friend that lent me this camera has is a top hat lens board, and this is something that I'll explain in a different video, but it's very simple. All you have to do is put this lens board, and then it comes with this screw for your lens, and you can make your lens extend those extra 50mm or more, depending on what you want to do. So if you want to shoot like he does a 250mm lens at a closer up, maybe a portrait or something like that, you want to make sure you have something like the top hat. So that's something you can do with this camera and any other camera that lets you do top hat. So let me put this backwards a little bit so it's not so extended. Keep it there. So front standard, what movements do we have? We have geared up and down. So let me unlock. As you can see, it can go up and down. And there we go. feels a little unlocked. Let me see if I'm missing something. Oh yeah, the front knob, that's why it was unlocked. So up and down are these two little knobs. One's lock, and then the other one is to rise and fall. So the right one is to move up and down. The left one on this hand is to lock. So it has, it's, you know, basically very nice geared up and down. As you can see, it can go very high. Probably bellows will be more of a problem than anything else. Bellows are interchangeable by the user, which is not very common in cameras like this one. And I'll show you in a little bit. But basically that's what you can do with that. And then on the front here, you have this little knob here that lets you unlock it and do a little bit of tilt one way and a little bit tilt the other way with a zeroing position, which is nice. So for those that love Schleimpflung, you can do that, no problem. You can go back, and while you're focusing, check your, you know, line of focus. And then on the front here, we have this little lock that I had unlocked, and this will let you shift sideways. And it's free for all shift. So what does that mean? It means that it can pop out. So you can do free lensing if that's your thing, or you can put it back in. Let me try to put it back in, guys. You probably don't want to do that normally. And let me see if I can put this back in. Let me extend it a little bit. But yeah, it basically doesn't have a, you know, a stop. So you can go and shift a little too much. So that will do shift. And also, let me see. I don't think you can swing with this camera on the front. And I might be mistaken. But from the looks of it, all you can do is that. You can go this way or that way, and that's about all you can do. You can't swing at all, or at least not in the position it's in right now. Let's see if we can do that a little bit. No swing on this camera. So let's lock that, and this is locked. So focusing here, and those are the movements on the front. So on the back, which is fairly interesting because it's different to what I've seen before. You have this movement, which is asymmetrical, or not, I don't know how to explain it. I think it's asymmetrical lock. And you'll see this. Let me see if I can put the camera at an angle that you guys can see on the video camera, because you want to focus on the front here. So when I move these, let me see. Yeah, I think it was here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, it's doing a bit of back shift. So I can shift to that side, and I can bring it back, or I could shift this side, or I could bring it back, or I could do both sides and extend the back of the camera, which is really interesting considering that I've never really seen that sort of thing on a camera before. What else do we have on the back? Let me see if I can put this back up. The whole back is rotating, so you can rotate it like any other, not any other, but many other cameras. And then to insert your film holder, you just have to extend it out. So you can do your normal 4x5 film holder. You can rotate it all the way. And then to put your film holder, whoop, that's how you open to see your ground glass. You also have this viewing hood, which has a little arrow, which shows you how to open it so you can focus without your dark cloth. And if you want to open it all the way, there you go. You can also take it off if you want to remove it, put it back on, no problem. And then when you want to put your film holder, you have these little helping tabs. So you put your film holder for 4x5 normal double dark slide, for your 545 new 55 or famous format film. You can also do it like that. Fits no problem. It fits your 405 Polaroid film holder, no problem too. So you can shoot FP100C or 1 instant. And if you want to shoot roll film with this camera, which is another way to shoot large format on the cheap, you can actually fit this Toyo roll film holder in the camera. No, it won't fit all the way. Or let me see. Oh yeah, it does fit all the way. So you can shoot it into the camera. As you can see, it's pretty sandwiched in there, but it works. So maybe that's how they wanted you to use it. I would be careful with that kind of inserting something so thick, because the ground glass can slap back on and kind of break it somehow. So basically that's all the movements that you can see. On the back, as you saw before, we do have a bit of drop, and this can also work if you're trying to do some extra rise on the front, and that's something that a lot of people, or little drop in this case. So you are dropping the bed down if you're using a wide angle lens, and then you remove this one and you can kind of like level it a little bit, and you can shoot a little bit lower than the usual. And the other way around, it works absolutely fine. So you can do it the other way around. So we unlock these two. We bring the bed back normal. And if you want to get a bit more rise, you can tilt the camera a little bit. You can push the front like that. Let me lock this. And then you can level it again. You can just basically level your camera again. And whoop, level it again. And you have that bit of extra indirect rise, which is very nice sometimes. Do bear in mind that this will probably introduce your bellows into your picture, so you always want to check before you shoot that you don't see any bellows on your ground glass or through the lens. Usually if through the lens you can see the ground glass, you're okay every corner. So yeah, basically this is the the Wista 45D. As you can see, it's not my camera, but we've discovered quite a bit about it. And as I said, the bellows are interchangeable, but the front, you have these little locks, which I don't know if you can see on B camera. So you just basically release them and the bellows comes off, as you can see. And on the back, I was a little scared on the first take, but it's very simple. You just have to lift this little tab and it releases the whole back, but it's the whole back. And now you see the bellows frame here, and you see these little locks on the top. You remove one and the other, and the whole bellows comes off. This is extremely useful if you want to change bellows, if your bellows have pinholes, if you want to change them for a new version of bellows. This, to me, makes the camera worthwhile altogether. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed and saw a little bit more of this Wista 45D. These cameras sell pretty affordable, between $400, $500 US. And as you can see, they're very nice. It does use the Linhof Technica lens boards, which that's how you remove them and put them back in. If you want to shoot something super wide angle, you can get a recessed lens board like this Linhof version of for the 72 XL. So you could put this in there. No, it doesn't even fit because this one's too wide. So be careful with that. Maybe you can't shoot extra wide angle. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video of this video of the Toyo Wista 45D. I just made the video for the Toyo, sorry guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this camera or future other models you want to see, leave a comment below, and see you in the next one, guys.